Great day, kings and queens. Yeah. Welcome to another conversation with Drew, where it's an honor to be able to share this gift with you guys, where it's truly a blessing to be able to share the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that I've gained through my experience and through studies to work on becoming the best version of myself, but also to help you become the best version of yourself. If I can inspire or motivate you or encourage you in any way, it's a win-win. And so this is a wonderful Wednesday. It's absolutely magnificent, man, to have life, to still be here, here to do some great things in the earth, as I was, thinking about you guys this morning, in thought, meditation, and prayer, I was, what came to me was about not giving up, about that we are to never give up. Great morning, Queen. And that's so important, man. It's so vital that you recognize that, that you understand the significance of not giving up. And as hard and as challenging as that is at times, it's a reason behind it. And I wanted to, come to you guys and touch on that reason behind not giving up in life. And the reason why I know that I have to share these things is because we experience some hardships in life. We experience some traumatic experiences in life. We experience some devastating circumstances in life. And the thing is that what I'm learning in life is, and the reason why we have to go through these traumatic experiences is because we have seeds inside of us, so to speak. And the only way that these seeds can grow and be cultivated is through the very experiences that we go through. And I know, my life is my life. Your life is your life. Everybody has gone through different things. That's why I say, different strokes for different folks. But, I have to share, my experiences so that that you're not the only one that's going through hardships. My counselor, Dr. Yeshua, said in this world, you will experience, tribulations. You will experience hardships. You will experience tests. He said, but do not fear. He said, for I have overcome the world, meaning that the governing systems that we experience, the hard times that we're going to experience, the trying times, the depressing moments, the discouraging moments, he's saying that don't worry about those things. Those things are a part of your life. Those things are a part of your experience. Those things are a part of your purpose, but learn how to embrace them. Learn how to grow in your challenging moments. When you recognize the process of growth, it's never comfortable. The process of growth is never comfortable. You're always being stretched. You're always being pulled in order to go to the next level in life. And so that's why the message today is don't give up. I remember, when I was 23, 24 years of age, man, and I was made a choice, to be with a friend, and I grew up around, drug dealers. I grew up around drug pushers. That's just what I knew, and so I made the choice, to be with a friend, during a drug transaction, man, and it was by choice. One of the worst decisions that I've ever made in my life, and it was just so crazy, right? Because here it is, what I mean? You just used to making silly decisions, man. But here it is, that it was this setup, right? And it was just so crazy because it was like a movie, y'all. Like literally, like we pulling off, man. And like, I'm talking about when I say, you would have thought that every police officer in this town came out that night. I'm telling you, I mean, M16 shotguns. I mean, it was crazy. I've never seen so many police officers in one place, and they yelling, "Get down, get down, get down!" And I mean, it's raining outside. I got my house shoes on and some sweats. I got to lay down in this wet rain. It's cold outside, but it was just so crazy because it was like a movie. It literally seemed like these police officers was jumping out of the cracks and crevices with these big old guns. Like, where was y'all hiding at? And where was y'all hiding these big old guns at? Because this is crazy. But it was like a movie. And I can remember, man, sitting in a cell that night, man. Man, I thought it was a dream, y'all. I ain't gonna even lie to you. I literally thought it was a dream. It felt like life was over, but it's just like, as I was thinking about that this morning, it's like, man, what if I would have gave up? What if I would have been like, man, this is too much. I know it's over. Life is done. I'm just going to give up and hung myself or try to cut my wrist or something crazy like that. You know, what if I would have gave up on life? I would not even be sitting here before you guys, sharing this moment with you guys, being able to come to you daily, you know, giving y'all words of encouragement, giving y'all positive affirmations, giving y'all things that y'all can grow with. I wouldn't have been able to even be here today. That's what's so powerful about understanding about not giving up. Because regardless of how hard that was, I mean, like, man, literally, that was one of the most trying times of my life. I'm 23, 24 years of age, and I'm looking at a mandatory minimum of 10 years, a maximum of 20 to life. That was one of the most hardest times of my life. Just had a little girl. I thought that the next time I'd see my little girl was when she'd be 10, 11 years old. You know what I mean? Like, it was literally one of the most trying times, one of the most hardest experiences that I've ever gone through in life. Here it is, a person who didn't have no criminal record. I think I might have had a speeding ticket or something at that moment. And I was facing a federal charge. Listen, this wasn't state. This was federal. When I got my indictment, when I got my paperwork back, it said the U.S. government versus Drew Clayborn. It didn't say the state of Ohio. It said the U.S. government versus Drew Clayborn. And it was serious. You know, sometimes I be cleaning up or something and I stumble across them papers and I read them and I'm like, man, like, Father, you really brought me a long way. To be able to be here in this position is not a coincidence. It's not happenstance. And that's why I say to you, even in the midst of what you're experiencing and your challenging times, that's why I'm able to say, man, don't give up. You know, when I was 13 years old, thinking about committing suicide, you know what I mean? Like, I look back at that, like, I was literally trying to figure out a plan in my mind. I was trying to strategically figure out how I could commit suicide because I was tired of being teased. I was tired of all the fat boy jokes. I was ready to give up, literally ready to give up. But that's the importance of understanding that. I remember I was talking to my cousin Jeremiah, and he was like, man, the Creator spoke to me one day, Drew, you know, and he was like, man, he said, man, I know the thoughts that I think towards you. Thoughts of good, not of evil. Thoughts to prosper you, not to harm you. He said to bring you to an expected end, or to give you a future and a hope. You have to understand that everything that you are experiencing in life, everything that you're going through, right, it's a design. This is not coincidence or happenstance. Why was I facing a mandatory minimum of 10 years and a maximum of 20 to life? Somebody that wasn't even out there in the dope game, somebody that wasn't out there robbing people, somebody that wasn't out there living that street life. I mean, I sold weed, but I wasn't out there living that street life. I wasn't out there sticking up people. I wasn't running in nobody's houses. I wasn't out there pushing no major weight. Why was it that I was facing a mandatory minimum of 10 years and a maximum of 20 to life? And there's people out there who done been in the dope game for 20, 30 years and ain't never faced that type of time. They might have went away for 2 to 3 years, 5 years here and there, but they ain't never faced that much time. Why was that? It's because it was designed strategically for me to go through that, for me to learn to have those experiences, for them to cultivate the faith that I needed to experience, the moments that I need to experience. So what I'm saying to you, kings and queens, is that even in what you're going through, I mean, listen, when I say it's challenging, it's challenging. Being addicted to drugs, I know it's challenging. I was just addicted to marijuana, but I smoked for about 10, 12 years, but I was trying to quit for about 5 of those years. You know what I mean? I didn't want to give it up. Ask my homies. I did not want to give it up. I'm telling you, so I know that it's hard. Going through a breakup, getting your heart broken. Listen, man, I was just, in my mind, in the best relationship that I've ever been in my entire life, man. I've grown so much. I became the man I was transforming right before this woman's eyes, even in the midst of my mistakes. You say, Drew, what about the bad part? The bad part was part of it. The wrong choices was part of it. But I was doing everything that I could possibly do as a human to become the best person to this day. And that woman still left me. I know it's hard, challenging. I'm telling you, I know you're wrestling. Listen, this is crazy. I know you're wrestling every single day with the thoughts in your mind about this person, with the thoughts in your mind about your addiction, with the thoughts in the mind about your shortcomings, with the thoughts in the mind about your finances or your family or your friendships, with the thoughts in your mind about your children. I know you are wrestling with these thoughts every single day. Listen, sometimes you wake up and they right there. They meet you soon as you wake up. They meet you soon as you wake up. But it's not for you to give up. That's what I know, kings and queens. The experiences that you are having is not for you to give up in life. I think it was Winston Churchill who said, when regardless of what happens, don't ever, 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 ever give up. But listen, man, if there's no person on the planet that Andrew Clayborn knows. I know, man. I've had to fight for everything that I've ever had in life. I've literally had to fight for my sanity. I had to fight to get out of the mindset of growing up in the hood. I had to fight for my health when I grew up and was obese for 25 years. I had to fight for these relationships that I was just in. I had to fight in order to try to become what she was wanting me and desiring me to be. I had to fight for the information that I have right now that I give you guys every morning. I've had to fight for my relationship in God. I had to fight to sustain from having sex. I've had to fight. You hear what I'm saying? I know, man. It's not easy. It's not easy. I get it. I know it. It's not easy. But the reality of it is that you are not to give up. I don't know your ending. I don't know your story. But if I can be an example to let you know that you do not give up. If I would have killed myself at 13, I wouldn't be here. If I would have gave up when I was facing all that time, I wouldn't be here. I'm telling you right now. I mean, it was literally like a movie. I can remember when they detained us and we're sitting in this room, right? Because this dope fiend that set my brother up, he made the police or whatever the heck they was, he made them believe that we was the worst criminals in the world, right? He was like, man, this dude is a killer. He one of the biggest dope boys, so forth and so on. So he made my brother look like he was just a stone cold killer, right? And so that's why it was so many police officers, just in case he happened to be this stone cold killer. And I remember sitting in a room and they was looking at us, man, and after they was done talking to us, they was like, dang, y'all, like, you know, like y'all ain't those bad guys. You know what I mean? So it let us know, it was indicative that this guy had pumped everything up. He was like, man, y'all actually some really good guys. But at this point, still, they arrested us. At this point, still, we was facing time. My brother ended up getting 15 years. And so it's like, man, when you understand that I could not be here right now. I could still be facing, serving some of that time. I could have just got out. Like, who knew the course of my life if I would have ended up having to do some time? What I'm saying to you is that you have to understand that the hardships that you are experiencing are by design. This is how I know that, right? I remember reading the story about Job. And this was what was so powerful that really stood out to me, that allowed me to know the very things that we experience literally is strategic, right? Because you have to go, this is what you have to understand. Like when my cousin Jeremiah was sharing what the Creator shared with him, it's like when he said, man, I know the thoughts that I think towards you. And he ended with saying, you know, to give you an expected end. Meaning that the thing that you are going to, the destination, a purpose for your life, it is already expected. It's already done. So that's what you have to conceptually understand. Like, it's done. This is not, you're not an experiment. The problem is that we experiment in life because we don't know purpose. And so we look at the things that we go through and the relationships that we choose to be in and the jobs we choose to seek out to have. It's experiments. And so that's how we look at life. We look at life as life is an experiment, and it's not. It's a purpose for your life. It's a reason why you're still here. Why babies that never committed one single sin, are babies who never made one bad decision, died in infancy. So it's a reason why you're still here. You just have not taken the time to seek that out, right? So let me get back to the hardships that we experience. And reading the story of Job, this was what was so powerful, right? And it was saying how, you know, how when the angels came back and was in, you know, entered the presence of God, and, you know, he noticed, you know, the enemy, this little funny guy, you know what I mean, coming back, and he said, man, where'd you come from, sucker? You know what I mean? Like where you been at? You know, he just like, oh, just going to and fro, you know, seeking people to destroy, you know what I mean? Seeking people to cause them to doubt you, seeking people, you know what I mean, to try to destroy their life, to try to mess with their mind. He said, oh, really? This was what was so powerful about about this story to me, one of the most significant things that stood out, God said, this is what God said to him, to the enemy, to the adversary, to Satan, to Lucifer, whatever you choose. He said, have you considered my servant Job? So when he said that, right, it blew my mind. I said, dang, here it is. The enemy didn't say, let me get at Job. The enemy didn't say, let me touch that one right there. He didn't. He said, God said, have you considered my servant Job? So what that means, right, is that whatever was about to happen after that, God already knew he was prepared and designed to be able to withstand whatever he was about to go through. This is what's so powerful about this story, y'all, is that when you understand that anything that you are going through, it was allowed by God. It was allowed by the Creator. It was allowed by the Magnificent One. It was allowed by the King of Kings. It was allowed by the Creator Elohim. It was allowed. This is not something that is happening to you as some experiment, man. This was allowed. If anything you're going through, that it feels like you're being attacked, that it seems like you're under attack, that it seems like everything is being snatched up from under you, man, I'm telling you, it is by design. He said, have you considered my guy Job? Now, let me tell you about Job. Job was up, as we call it. Job was balling. You dig what I'm saying? His livelihood was on point. 1,000 sheep, you know what I mean? Hundreds of oxen. Man, he was up in the world. I mean, his business was booming. You know what I mean? He had a wife. He had children, sons and daughters. I mean, life was beautiful for them. He was up. So this is what's so amazing, man. That I conceptually finally understood is that it doesn't matter where you are in life, whether you're up, whether you're down, however you choose to look at it, right? When you understand that I'm telling you, the very you that I'm speaking to you right now, when you understand that nothing that you are going through is a coincidence or that is happenstance or is an accident, everything that you are going through is strategic. Either it's trying to get your attention to prepare you, or it is literally preparing you if you are already cognizant about your purpose. This is what you have to understand. You are not going through this to give up. You are not going through this to be punished. You are not going through this to fail. You are going through this because it is a strategic design on your life to bring you to an expected end. God, the Creator is trying to bring you to a point in life that he can say, my son or my daughter literally lived out the purpose for their lives to bring me glory. That is it. Literally, that is it. And so when you understand that, there is no giving up. I don't care if you just went through a breakup. So did I. I don't care if your finances is not where you desire them to be. Neither is mine. I don't care if you're struggling with an addiction. I did too. I don't care if your friends turn their backs on you. That's okay. I went through the same thing. I don't care if you're struggling with your weight. I was obese for 25 years. I don't care if you don't love yourself. I had low self-esteem, low confidence. I don't care if you grew up in poor circumstances. So did I. But what I'm saying to you is that all of that, everything that you are experiencing literally is there to cultivate you. It is to mold you. It is to shape you. You have to go through these things in order for you to become the greatest version of you. You have to. I remember when I was speaking to my Uncle Paul, man, and he said, Neff, man, he said, listen, man, he said, I'm not going to even act like I've attained these things, that I'm perfected. He said, I'm not going to even act like I've arrived there. He said, but I press on. He said that I may lay hold of that which Christ Jesus has laid hold of me, or that I may apprehend that which is apprehending me, or he said, or that I'm going to seek which is seeking me. He said, Neff, check this out, man. He said, and this is beautiful when, again, you just begin to understand life, understand what you're going through. He said, Neff, I'm not going to even make it seem that I'm there, that I've arrived. He said, I haven't. He said, but the one thing that I do, he said, forgetting those things which are behind and pressing towards those things which are ahead. That's what you have to understand, y'all, is that everything that you've gone through, kings and queens, have been for your benefit. It's been for you to make it. It's been for you to become great. That's why it's uncomfortable. Everybody wants life to be so comfortable. We want to sit in that plush lazy boy chair where we can kick our feet up, you know what I mean? Have our little favorite little juice or our alcoholic beverage, our bottle of water, whatever your preference is, like mine, or I drink water. You know, it's like that's what we expected, and we got popcorn on the one side and we watching our favorite movie. That's what we expect life to be, and it's like it's not. It won't ever be like that. Realistically, it won't ever be like that. But the reality of it is that everything that you're going through, man, I'm telling you, I pray that y'all hear me today. I'm telling you, everything that you're going through, everything that you are literally going through is literally transforming you to become a better version of you. Literally, it's like hardships. Think of hardships like the metamorphosis of a caterpillar. It's like the hardships come to wrap you up in everything that you're going through, so it can break down all the enzymes inside of you, all of the mess that's there that don't need to be there, all of the hardships, all of the lies, all of the destructive way of thinking is coming to break all of that down, right? And if you know about the process of butterflies, when a caterpillar is in a cocoon, it literally breaks down the whole body of the caterpillar and it becomes imaginary cells. And so these imaginary cells can be made into whatever the creator wants to make it, but he just happens to make it into a butterfly. That's what's so beautiful about you, is that when these hardships come, when these trying times come, you're not supposed to give up, right? Because once you're broken down and you become those imaginary cells and you give up, you don't become that beautiful butterfly. You don't begin to fly into prosperity and abundance and a lovely life. You dig what I'm saying? You just basically break down and sit there and you just become mush. And that's why it seems like everything that you go through is just like blah. You know what I mean? Like, because you've given up. Don't give up. Don't give up. You know what I mean? And the reason why I say that is because you have treasures inside of you. You have gifts inside of you that we need. That's what you have to understand. If I would have gave up when I was thinking about committing suicide as a kid, if I would have gave up when I was battling my addiction, if I would have gave up in my depression, if I would have gave up in the times that I was facing all of that time, if I would have gave up in those moments, do you guys not realize that I would not be here before you guys? That I would not be able to serve my gift the way that I'm serving it to you guys? That I would not, be in a position to impact lives every single day. It don't stop when I get off of Facebook Live. It don't stop when I get off of my regular TV program, as I call it. It does not stop. I go right into something else, helping somebody else, running into somebody else, giving somebody else a word, speaking life into somebody. It don't stop when this camera go off. This is my life. But if I would have gave up, if I would have thrown in the towel, if I would have called it quits, if I would have said enough is enough, I'm done with life, do you guys not realize that there would not be an Andrew Clayborn in the world doing what I do? That's what you have to understand. That the very hardship that you are going through is molding you. I promise you, it's molding you. It's creating you to become a better you. But you have to understand this. Like Job, when God said, this is what the Creator said. This is what he spoke to the enemy. Have you considered my servant Job? Why would I say, have you considered my servant Job? It's because I know that whatever you derived in your sick, twisted mind to try to bring harm to this man, I already know that I, as the Creator, have equipped him with every single thing that you can possibly throw at him. And why you think that something like a simple car has to go through certain tests? They have to go through climate tests. They have to go through suspension testing. They have to go through crash testing. Why? Because I want to prepare my product to be the best before I put it out on the market. I want to prepare you to be the greatest you, the greatest version of you, the greatest king, the greatest queen, the greatest son, the greatest daughter, the greatest leader, the greatest teacher, the greatest whoever God is creating you to be. I want to prepare you to be the greatest. But if you went through nothing in life, how would I know that you were that great? Because life has to hit you in the face one time, at least one time, y'all. It has to hit you in the face. It's just that we've been slapped in the face quite a few times. But life has to hit you in the face at least once. How do I know how you're going to respond if I don't test you before I put you out there? You're representing a king and a kingdom. You're representing authority. You're representing power. You're representing greatness. You're representing life itself. How would I not test you before I allow you to go out into the market? That's what you have to understand. That's what I do every day. This is a test for me. This is a test to see, will I get up every single day and seek something to speak to you guys about and perfect my gift every single day? Would I do that in order to see that when millions of people are watching me on TV, when millions of people and billions of people know who Andrew Clayborn in the world, how do I know that you will stand under the pressure and be great? Give me Facebook Live and let me show you, Pops. Give me this Facebook Live and let me go to work. Give me the tools that you created for me to go to work, and I'm gonna make it happen. So this is what I'm saying to you, is that the addiction that you're facing, the struggle in your finances that you're facing, the struggle in your relationship that you're facing, the struggling thoughts of your belief that you're facing. That's one of the hardest things. The struggling thoughts of your weight that you're facing, the struggling times of your job that you're facing. You may have just gotten fired from a job. You know what I mean? The struggling thoughts of, how am I going to make it today? The struggling thoughts of, man, I just went through some abuse from this man or this woman. The struggling thoughts of the abuse that you went through as a child from molestation or being raped. The struggling thoughts of suicide. I'm telling you, whatever it is that you are experiencing, kings and queens, what I'm here to tell you is that it's for a purpose. You say, dang, Drew, well, why was I raped, or why was I molested? Or why did my father choose to walk away and not be in my life? Or, why did my mother abandon me? Or why has my mother and I's relationship always been the worst? Why has my father and I's relationship always been at odds? Why is it that every time I walk into a job, it seems like it doesn't feel good and I always end up getting fired? Why does it always seem from the beginning of life that my finances have always been an issue and I've grown up poor, and it still seems like I'm poor as an adult? Why does it seem like, I'm having such a struggling time raising my kids? Why does it seem like I can't understand the word of God? Why is it that it seems like life is always beating me up for a purpose, for a reason? It's strategic. You're not an experiment. You're not an illegitimate child. You're not here just because. You have a purpose on your life. You have gifts that are inside of you, treasures that are inside of you, and God is allowing life to try to bring these things to a head. That's what you don't understand. I was evicted out of the only place that I've ever owned in my life. I was kicked out, literally kicked out, stuff thrown out. I just had my son. I'm 3 kids in, literally thrown out of my place. Come home, pull up, everything is on the front lawn. Do you not understand that I had 2 decisions to make? Either I could have given up, or I could have said, what the heck is going on, God? You better say something to me and let me know what's happening so I can get this thing right. I am tired. Enough is enough. You got to get there. You got to say that. You got to say enough is enough. You got to enter into the throne with boldly and confidently and say, listen, enough is enough. It's time for you to let me know what the heck is going on. Why am I here? I know you've been trying to get my attention. I know I've been running from it, but man, look, enough is enough. What is it? And when I said that, life changed for the best. That was over 5 years ago. And this is why I am who I am today. This is why I come to you guys every single morning with something to say. This is why I pour out every single day. It don't matter who it is, they're going to get this work. But this is why I do it. It's because enough was enough. And I've still gone through hardships. I've still gone through some excruciating heartbreaks. I've still gone through some letdowns. But now that I know my purpose and my reason for existence and the Creator's original intent for my life, I run like I'm an unstoppable running back. I run like Bo Jackson. I run like Emmitt Smith. I run like Barry Sanders. I run like Earl Campbell. I run like I am a Mack truck going through a wall, and that wall has no chance to stop me. I'm telling you, kings and queens. But the reason why I am able to have so much confidence in what I do is because I finally realized that everything that I've ever experienced, everything was to bring me to this day. It was to bring me to this very experience of this day. And so what I'm saying to you, kings and queens, is to never give up. Never give up. I don't care what you're going. It's hard as heck. If I cuss, you know what I mean? Or I had a pouty mouth, I say it was hard as hell. Like it is, man. I cannot tell you how hard it is, how challenging it is. But when I say to you, man, it is for a magnificent purpose. I don't even know what my expected end is fully. I really don't know the fullness of it. You know what I mean? All I know is one day I'm going to walk into it because I'm on that path. But what I say to you is that the reason why you've gone through these things in life, the reason why you've gone through these hardships, these heartbreaks, these devastating moments in life, the reason why you've had some of the roughest, most challenging experiences in life is because the gift inside of you is that great. Anytime that you're experiencing mind-boggling challenges, things that you can't fathom, the reason why is because literally your purpose is that great. Your purpose, listen, the adversary does not try and challenge people who's weak. It's just not a reality. That's just like a cheetah, right? I'm in the National Geographic, you know what I mean? I'm into all of this beautiful stuff, right? And a cheetah will not eat a prey that's already dead. A cheetah naturally wants to chase after it to get it. It wants that work, right? It really wants to work for its food. And so it will not eat something that's already dead. It has to chase and capture and kill its prey in order for it to eat it. That's just how it is designed. So the enemy, right? The wicked one, the challenging one, the adversary, right? He will not mess with you if you are weak. He would not mess with you if you have no value. He would not mess with you if he didn't know that if you are released into the earth to be the great queen or the great king that you are, he will not mess with you. So if you're going through something hard, if you've always gone through something hard, I'm telling you, it's because the calling on your life, the purpose of your life is that great. It's that great. But the most important component of life is your faith. Faith is at the origin of everything successful. So if I can ever get you to doubt your existence, if I can ever get you to doubt who you are, if I can ever get you to doubt that you are like the Creator, that you are made in His image and likeness, I can give you this fruit that'll get you to disobey His commandments. I can get you to bite into this fruit and take it back to your husband to disobey His commandments. I can get you to eat this very thing or go against the very thing or disrespect the very thing that told you not to do it. I can get you to do that if I can get you to doubt you through these hardships, through these trying times, through these tribulations, through these tests, through these tempting times. If I can get you to doubt you, you would never become the greatest version of you. That's all that it's about, is getting you to doubt you. That's why I said never give up. Sometimes you go through life and it just seems like it's just hitting you, man. I'm telling you, like you just don't know what the heck is going on. Like, you go through the moments, but I'm telling you, look at that sun. It always come through and kiss your king in the morning. Yeah, you understand me? But I'm telling you, do not give up. That's the key. Don't give up. Don't stop reading books. Don't stop reading the word. Don't stop listening to audios. Don't stop speaking positive affirmations over your life. Don't stop having these positive conversations with your friends. Don't stop being around people who just know when to call and encourage you. Don't stop. Because if you stop is when you've lost and when you've failed. But if you never give up on life, I promise you, you will find the greatest version of you. I promise you, you will. Thank you guys for tuning in. It's such a blessing, man, to be able to share with you guys every single day. I love it, man, and I'm honored to be able to do it. But remember, man, it's not a look, it's a lifestyle, because we do this every day not to impress people, but to leave an impression on the earth. I've always opened up, man, to allow people, man. I'm taking in donations now, man, because again, we're trying to build this thing beyond Facebook. So I'm taking donations, man, and everything helps, man. So I greatly appreciate, man, that if you guys can donate. great. If y'all want to, hit me up at Andrew D. Clayborn, at CLAYBORN at gmail.com. Andrew D. Clayborn, or inbox me for the instructions, or DM me as I put this on Instagram. I love you guys. I want you guys to have a wonderful Wednesday. God bless you guys. Peace.